Lying down on your back. And it can be any position that feels good to you. So maybe you lie in corpse pose, maybe you've got your feet on the ground with your knees bent, feet together, knees apart. So whatever feels just good in your body. For me, I've got some low back pain once in a while, so feet on the ground with knees bent, feet a little bit wider than your hips, and just let your knees kind of fall in. That's a really good way to let your low back kind of open up and create space there. Constructive rest pose. So give yourself a moment to just settle, be intentional with the placement of your arms and your hands. Close your eyes. And let's take a great big huge inhale all together. So fill up as big as you can. Hold at the top. Exhale, audible, open mouth sigh. Inhale, fill up. Hold in fullness and just feel this prana, this life force inside your body. See if you can sip in just a little bit more. And exhale. Let it go. And do that one more time. So biggest inhale of your morning. And I want you to make noise, the HA sound. Big, huge exhale. Good. And then seal your lips. Ujjayi breath begins. So in and out through your nose by way of the back of your throat. And then as you connect with your Ujjayi breath, begin to explore movement from your back. So not quite yoga poses yet, but just stretching, just exploration. So maybe your arms and your legs reach overhead, reach forward. Maybe you curl up into a little ball. You might even kind of roll to one side and then the other. So when I say not yoga poses, I just mean rather than going straight towards your happy baby or your supine twist, just explore a little more intuitive movement through your arms, your legs, your spine from the position of your back. So it's a little bit different. We usually do this on our hands and our knees. So think of yourself like a little baby in your crib and you're just stretching. You're a little puppy dog. If you've ever seen a little puppy dog wake up and stretch, that's you right now. So just working into your body by exploring different movement. All right, my friends, and then slowly find your way back to, we'll set up for bridge pose. So feet on the ground with your knees bent, feet hips width distance apart, all of your toes face directly forward. And then make sure your heels are either straight down from your knees or just ever so slightly in front of your knees. So a lot of times people have their feet way forward. Make sure there's a straight line from your knees down to your ankles. Arms by your sides, palms down. Exhale, pull your belly button down, scoop your tailbone up. So first you're just moving your pelvis. And then as you inhale, slowly peel your spine off your mat, one vertebra at a time. So coming into our bridge pose, when you get to the top, shimmy your shoulders side to side and kind of work your shoulders underneath you a little more. So finding more opening through your chest. Now, robot arms, so fingertips face the sky, palms face each other. Press down firmly through the backs of your elbows and then through the back of your head. See if you can find a little tiny lift of your chin out of your chest. Hug in with your inner thighs as if you're squeezing a yoga block. Take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, just your butt lowers down. So you're going to create a bridge or a tunnel, I should say, right underneath your mid-spine. Inhale to lift back up. So a few more rounds just like this. Exhale to lower, butt towards the ground. If you can't get your butt all the way down, just get as close as you can. And then inhale to lift back up. Exhale, lower, inhale, lift. Continue at your own pace. Each time you lower your butt, see if you can make your tunnel even bigger. So you're lifting through your chest and through your ribs as you press down through the backs of your elbows and the back of your head as your butt comes down. So really notice and feel the mobility in your spine here, especially your mid-spine. Feel the strength in your low back and your mid-back. So this is new muscle awareness for a lot of people, and even new mobility for many people. For some reason, our mid-backs just don't get very much movement. So start to feel into this and remember how it feels. We want to feel this in all of our back bends. Take a couple more rounds. If you've been going, you're probably getting tired. Keep hugging in with your inner thighs. Keep pressing down through the backs of your arms, back of your head. Next time you inhale, hold there. So hold in your bridge pose. Work your shoulders out from under you. Reach your arms straight up towards the ceiling. Take one more big in-breath. See if you can lift your hips a little higher. Hug in with your inner thighs. As you exhale, ever so slowly roll down. So one vertebra at a time. Your fingertips are reaching up towards the sky. Good job. And then with your arms, you're going to keep them reaching up, but just grab opposite elbows. So just like ragdoll pose, but your arms are right above your chest. Bring your feet out to the width of your mat, windshield wiper. So side to side with your knees. And as your knees fall to one side, pull your elbows in the opposite direction. So knees go right, elbows pull to the left, gaze left. And then switch it up. Side to side, move at your own pace. And then notice the mobility here in your hips. Notice the sensation in your low back. So probably we're waking up these low back muscles. For some reason, it's hard to build muscle in our low back. We compensate with other parts of our body. So if you feel sore in your low back tomorrow, hopefully it's a good sore. It's muscles waking up. If you did 10 of those bridge lifts and lowers of your butt every day, I bet your back would transform. Your posture would feel different. I always tell my students that, but I don't know if anyone ever tries it. I don't do them every day, so do as I say, not as I do. All right, let's come back to center. And then from here, full body stretch, arms long and legs long. So really, really reach. Now listen, you guys, as you're reaching, you probably feel a little tunnel underneath your back. Your low back and your mid back are lifting. So what I want you to do as you exhale is press down into the ground with the backs of your hands, so not your palms, the backs of your hands, and then see if you can press down through your back ribs and even try to press your low back down. It shouldn't touch all the way, but it should get pretty close. And then you're pressing down through the backs of your heels. So we're basically creating a seal with the back of our body against the ground. We'll do it 3 times. So you have to use core strength. Take a big inhale, stretch long. And then as you exhale, create your seal. So draw your back ribs down, pull your belly button towards your spine. Everything presses down. Now inhale, let it go and stretch. Exhale, create your seal. Everything presses down. So it's a little tilt of your pelvis, if you're like me and you have an anterior tilt. So try to press down, engage your core. Inhale, let it go. Last round. This is a great practice for handstand prep. Exhale, create your seal. So engage your core. We're figuring out how to get our core to engage when we're in this standing position with our arms overhead. Inhale, reach. So you can feel naturally your core just kind of lets go. And then exhale, let's draw our knees towards our belly now. Take a little rock from side to side. Massage your low back against the ground. And then nice and easy, we'll just let our knees fall over to the right, reach your left arm out to the left. Take about 2 or 3 breaths. You can use your right hand on the outside of your left thigh if you want to. So just warming up our spine in a different way today. Switch sides as you're ready. Come through center and kind of neutralize. So take a couple of rocks first, then knees over to the left. Right arm reaches out to the right, gaze up or over your right shoulder. All right, when you feel pretty even in your twist, come back to center. Happy baby pose. So feet face the sky, soles of your feet, and then knees to the outsides of your ribs. Grab hold. Neutral spine as much as you can create one. So rather than rounding, you want to pull the backs of your shoulders down and press your tailbone down. So a neutral spine, you do have a little curve in your low back. So there's a little teeny tiny tunnel underneath your low back when you've got a neutral spine, like you could slide a grape underneath it. A lot of people, I think neutral spine is just completely straight and back flat on the ground. You do have some curvature in your spine, some natural curvature. So go ahead, release your happy baby. From here, knees towards your chest. You can grab front of your shins, backs of your thighs, or you can even just reach your arms straight up towards the sky. We're gonna rock forward and back. So start to rock forward and back along your spine. We're gonna rock for 30 seconds. So engage your core, chin to chest. So keeping your neck nice and safe. Build some momentum, but stay in control. So if at any time you wanna stop and hover and bridge, stop and hover and plow, you're welcome to do so. Keep breathing, slow and steady, keep rocking. We're about halfway there, 15 more seconds. Try to make your rocks as smooth as possible. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now listen, you're gonna rock up, plant your feet, stand up. So it's hard. It took me a long time to get it, so just try it. Yes, oh my gosh, I think you guys both did it. If you did that without using your hands, then give yourself a pat on the back. I'll give you a Katie Schiffgen Yoga sticker later next time I see ya. All right, so mountain pose, top of your mat. Arms by your sides, palms face forward, open and receptive. Pelvis is neutral, so when you have a neutral pelvis, you'll automatically find the teeniest, tiniest tone in your low abdominals. Those are your transverse, and that's to support your low back. Broad through your shoulders and your collarbones. Draw up through the crown of your head as you press into the ground with your feet. So what does it feel like to stand with awareness, with optimal alignment? Feel it, remember it inside. Next time you breathe in, fill up and hold. See if you can sip in just a little bit more at the top. And exhale, let it go. All right, Ujjayi breath, let's flow. Inhale, high mountain. So you can keep your neutral spine, neutral pelvis as you reach. Exhale, slow swan dive down. So stick your butt out behind you, heart guides all the way down. Relax your neck at the bottom. Inhale to a halfway lift position, spinal extension. So how much length can you create? Exhale, release and fold. Press into your feet, lead with your heart, reverse swan dive. Inhale, high mountain pose, stretch, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. All right, inhale, arms to the sky. Add a little baby back bend this time. Exhale, cactus your arms. Bottom tips of shoulder blades squeeze. Press your hips gently forward, hug in with your inner thighs. Mid-back mobility. Inhale, re-extend and realign. Exhale, take a slow dive down, forward fold. All right, breathe in and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Now pause in your fold, bring your hands up to your low back. Clasp your hands here. So notice, you can have your hands clasped, but your shoulders are still kind of rolling forward. Roll, so keep your neck relaxed, your head heavy, but roll your shoulders back and down. So basically squeeze your shoulder blades towards your spine and see how that completely changes the pose already once you've got that. Now, keep that and see if you can start to lift your knuckles up towards the sky. So lift as high as you can. Don't lock out your elbows. Little baby bend in your elbows. I don't need to see it, but you feel it. Neck is relaxed, head is heavy. Now with your knuckles reaching up, see if you can bring a little more weight forward into the front half of your feet. You can have a big bend in your knees. Now see if you can lift your butt, your tailbone, your sit bones higher. Crown of your head closer to the ground, knuckles higher towards the sky. Feel that opening in the fronts of your shoulders. Take one more big inhale. Exhale, hands to your low back, then release your clasp. Let your arms hang for a moment. You can give them a gentle shake out. On an in-breath, halfway lift, spine nice and long. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back to high plank position. So take a moment and just find your strength. Spread your fingers wide, push the ground away. Navel to spine, and then see if you can just find those little teeny tiny rocks forward and back. Back of your neck stays long. Next time you inhale, little rock forward. Keep that. Exhale, halfway down. Come to your knees if you want to modify it. Inhale, press back up, high plank. Exhale again, little rock, lower halfway. Try not to let your shoulders roll forward. Shoulder blades hug your spine. Inhale, press up. And then exhale as slow as you can go all the way to your belly. All right, Spiderman Cobra, but keep it low. So hands out wide, lift to your fingertips. Elbows face the sky, lift your chest. Stay nice and low so you do not feel this in your low back at all. Now from here, we're gonna bend our right knee, press into your right set of fingertips, roll onto the outside of your left hip. So try to roll all the way up onto the outside of your left hip. Now let your left shoulder move closer to the ground, feel the stretch there. Right tiptoes are reaching towards the ground behind you like a scorpion tail with your right leg. If you want to take it a little deeper, reach your right toes up towards your left hand. Little tone in your low belly. Take one more big deep breath. End of your exhale, let it go, release. And then we'll take it to the other side. So your chest is lifted slightly. Press into your left fingertips, bend your left knee, roll up and over. So you're all the way on the outside of your right hip. Right shoulder moves towards the ground. And then left toes reach down and maybe up towards your right hand behind you. Take one more big breath here. End of your exhale, let it go. And then just rest on your belly, forehead on your mat so the back of your neck is nice and long. Bring your hands to your low back. And again, interlace your fingers. Dang it, I spilled my water bottle. All right, so interlace your fingers at your low back, just like we did when we were in our forward fold. Roll your shoulders back and down. So before you're even lifting, you feel that strength in your upper back. Exhale in your breath. Inhale, lift everything that you can. So chest, ribs, feet, knees, and then see if you can lift your knuckles up and reach your knuckles further back. Hug in with your inner thighs. Stay long through the back of your neck so you're gazing slightly down. So you're not back bending with your neck, you're back bending with your back. Take one more big, huge inhale, lift, 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 open, open, open. Exhale, let it go. Hands frame your mid-ribs, press up to tabletop, and for a moment, press back to child's pose. Knees can be wide or knees together. So big, spacious breaths, powerful inhales, and even more powerful exhales all the way to empty. So breathe into those muscles in your back that we've been working so intensely. Give them extra oxygen, extra love. All right, and then in your next couple of breaths, we'll meet back in downward facing dog. So this is the first down dog of our practice. Take a moment to feel into it. So you can walk it out, shift your weight around, shake your head yes or no. Play around with the rotation in your shoulders. Play around with the space between your hands and your feet. So typically, good rule of thumb, if you're in plank pose, you should be able to go straight back to down dog without really having to move hands or feet. If you want to walk your feet forward just a little bit, that's completely fine. So it's your pose, make it work for you. Make sure you're finding lots of length in your spine. So it's working for you in a way that's benefiting you rather than selling yourself short or hurting yourself or cranking yourself into a variation of the pose that doesn't work. So you're the only one that knows how your body feels. Listen to that. Take one more great big inhale into your down dog. Exhale, gaze to the top of your mat. Empty out, step or hop, forward fold. Once you've arrived, find a halfway lift, lengthen. Breathe in. And then exhale, fold. Now listen, keep your right foot where it's at and step your left foot back, low lunge. All right, hands frame your front foot for a moment. And if you do have blocks or water bottles that you want to use under your hands at home, feel free. So we're going to bend and straighten our front leg a few times. Next time you inhale, bring a deeper bend into your front knee and let your back knee get closer to the ground. So maybe your back knee kisses the ground. Gaze forward and lift your chest up. As you exhale, lift your hips, straighten your front leg or move it towards straight, forehead towards your front shin. Pull your right sit bone up, up, up. Press back through the top of your right thigh. Inhale forward, low lunge. And exhale, extended pyramid. Lift your hips, work your legs towards straight. See if you can really press back through the top of your right thigh so you're creating more space where the crease in your hip is. And then inhale forward, move at your own pace, couple more back and forth. You're staying on the ball of your back foot, back leg strong and powerful. Hips nice and square as you move. All right, friends. Next time you come into your low lunge position, stay there, and then bring your back knee gently to the ground, untuck your back toes. Bring your hands to the inside of your right foot. Walk your right foot out to the width of your mat. And then spin your right toes as far out to the right as you can. Bring your left hand out in front of you a little further, so slightly out in front of your upper body. And then you're going to reach your right arm forward. So let your hips move forward and down as you reach forward and stretch long. And then reach your right arm up. Let your upper body turn to the right. Now reach your right arm back towards your left toes. So you're pivoting onto the outer edge of your right foot if you can. Keep your right ankle strong. Press down into your left hand so you're not sinking into your left shoulder or wrist. Reach further back towards your left toes. Keep your left leg long. A couple more rounds. Horizon lunge. You can move a little bit from side to side if you want to. Good job. Next time you inhale, reach your right arm up and then reach your right arm forward, right hand back down. So bring your hands just kind of underneath your shoulders and then lift your hips back up. Work your right foot back to midline. Tuck your back toes, so you're framing your right foot now. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. And then we'll rise up to crescent lunge, high lunge. Strong through your legs. Right hip pulls back, left hip pulls forward. You get that little engagement in your transverse. Back leg strong and powerful. Take one more big inhale. All right, as you exhale, bring your right arm behind you, forearm across your low back. So right forearm across your low back. Now bend your back knee to a hover. Begin to create a back bend. Use your forearm against your low back as a little bit of support. So lift your heart, gaze up, reach your left fingertips back. Press your right forearm into your low back into your forearm. Breathe, puff up through your chest. See if you can deepen the bend in your back knee and then deepen the opening in your heart. Next time you breathe in, back to crescent lunge, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands to the ground. Standing splits, right foot roots, left leg lifts. Your variation here, so take it wherever you want. You can practice handstand hops, you can play with balance, or you can just work the stretch, work the pose, explore from there. Couple more rounds. If you're holding standing splits, lift from your center. Take some of that weight out of your foot, out of your leg. One more big inhale. And with your exhale, set your left foot down at the top of your yoga mat. Give your right leg a little shake out. Big toes touch, little gap in between your heels. Tiny little ball tuck in curl. So butt towards the ground, nose towards your knees. Hands can stay down or wrap your arms around the fronts of your shins and squeeze. Good. Breathe into your back body. Stretch your back ribs, or those muscles in between your back ribs. Take one more deep breath. Inhale, halfway lift, spinal extension. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Inhale at the top of your push-up, little rock forward, exhale, slowly lower. Back bend of your choice this time. So wherever you want to go, you can give yourself a couple rounds there to move a little bit. And we'll see you back in downward facing dog. All right, now listen. From your down dog, right leg to the sky. Keep your hips square, inner thighs face each other. Now, you're going to keep your right leg lifted, transition forward into a plank position, three-legged plank. Start to create a back bend, so press down with your hands, lift your heart like you're doing airplane pose. Now bend your right knee, reach your right toes towards your head. It'll feel like you're so close, and I'm probably like 5 feet away from my head still. So use those muscles in your mid-back. Take one more breath. Back leg strong, left leg strong. Inhale, three-legged dog. Woo! That's hard. If it wasn't hard, then try it again and work it differently. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog, back up. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Now listen, open up your right hip, bend your right knee. So great place to stay. If this is feeling good, stay here. Option to flip your dog. Right foot comes down behind you. Right arm reaches forward. Lift your heart. Lift your hips. Back muscles squeeze around your spine. Great big huge breath down into your belly. End of your exhale, regular down dog. Everyone walk it out. Option to take a vinyasa to reset if you would like. Otherwise, keep walking it out in your down dog. All right, one more inhale into dog pose. Exhale, gaze forward, empty out, step or hop, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, fold. Left foot stays rooted, right foot steps back, low lunge. Hands on blocks, water bottles, any props you have at home, or hands on the ground. I just come to my fingertips, so that works too. All right, inhale, low lunge. Let your back knee kiss the ground. So let your hips move forward and down. It's okay if your front knee goes a little bit past your ankle, as long as we're not really weight bearing. So heart lifts, gaze forward, breathe in here, and as you exhale, straighten. Forehead towards your shin. Lift your left sit bone, press back through the top of your left thigh. Go at your own pace. Slowly with awareness. Strong through your back leg and your back foot. All right, next time you're in your low lunge, stay there. Back knee comes down gently. Hands to the inside of your left foot. Walk your left foot all the way out to the width of your mat, and then spin your left toes as far out to the left as they will go. So 90 degrees is maximum, or somewhere in between. All right, some people can probably spin their foot further, so no further than 90 degrees. Walk your hands forward a little bit, and let your hips move forward and down. Now right hand plants slightly out in front of your upper body. Reach your left arm forward. So like you're a dancer, you're reaching, you're lengthening. Let your hips move forward and down with you. Then reach up, reach back towards your right toes. Let your left knee kind of open up towards the back of your mat. So you don't want it to fall forward. You want it to move towards the back of your mat. You can roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. Keep your ankles strong. Press down through your right fingertips. Lengthen your right side. And if you want to kind of explore, move your hips, rock them back and forth. Back leg is long. Rise and lunge, 1 or 2 more rounds. All right, inhale, left arm reaches up, forward, and then left hand comes back down. Walk your hands back a little bit so you can lift your hips up. And then left foot back to midline, frame your left foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. And crescent lunge, let's rise. Stable and strong through your legs. Tone through your low abdominals, heart lifts. Find your breath strong, steady. All right, left forearm across your low back now. So use that as support. We're not leaning onto it, but we're pressing our forearm into our back, and then we can press our back into our forearm as well. Start to create your back bend. Back knee bends to a hover. Lift your heart and then curl open. So you do not want to feel pain in your low back. Low abdominals are engaged. Those transverse still supporting your low spine. Lift your heart higher, bend your back knee more, reach back a little further, take one last round. Inhale, crescent lunge, rise, reach up. Exhale, hands come down. Standing splits. Right leg lifts up, your variation. Stretch, play with balance, or play with handstand hops, wherever you want to go. Take one more inhale. Exhale, forward fold, right foot steps down. Give your left leg a little shake. Big toes touch, little gap in between your heels. Tuck and curl, tiny little potato bug ball, get small. You can try intentionally keeping your heels down and then intentionally lifting your heels up. If you can't press your heels down like me, you don't have the flexibility in your ankles, then just press them towards the ground. Option to wrap your arms around the fronts of your shins. Take 2 more slow, deep breaths. All right, halfway lift, next inhalation, lots of length. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Take your vinyasa your way. So as slow as you would like to go, we'll see you back in downward facing dog. All right, from your down dog, inhale, left leg to the sky, hips square, inner thighs face each other. Now, keep that, come forward to a 3-legged plank position, so just rock it forward. Navel to spine, press your hands down, start to lift your heart. So not just with your neck, gaze forward. Let's see if you can start to lift your chest, bend your left knee, reach your left tiptoes towards the crown of your head. Press down through your hands. Use your mid-back mobility, mid-back strength. One more round. Hi, Sophie. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Stretch, lengthen. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, left to left. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, open up your left hip, so bend your left knee, peel your left hip open. Stay here or flip it. Left toes come down behind you. Reach your left arm forward, reach your heart forward. Breathe down into your belly. One more big, huge breath, fullest expression for you today. And then come back. Downward facing dog, walk it out. Let's all move through a vinyasa. Next inhale, rock forward, plank position. Exhale, slowly lower. Back bend of your choice, breathe in. And just child's pose. So sit back and rest. Hips to heels, forehead to your mat. If you want to take embryo, reach back, grab hold of your heels, or reach back, palms face up. Hero's pose, seated meditation is an option as well. Good job, you guys. So slow down your breath. And then in your next couple of rounds, downward facing dog. All right, inhale, right leg to the sky. And exhale, pigeon pose, right shin forward. Set your body down gently, so right knee towards the outer right edge of your mat. Pull your right hip back. And as you pull your right hip back, so it's like you want to stick your right butt cheek out, hinge at your hips, reach your heart forward, and bow. If you want to take it deeper, you can walk your back knee back a little further at any time. If this bothers your front knee, or if for any other reason it's not working for you these days, my front knee has been bugging me, so I'm going to take this on my back. So this is always an option if you would rather, supine pigeon. So if there's any tendon, ligament stuff going on, then supine is a great option. So the reason why in our pigeon pose we always keep our toes really, really active is ideally so that we keep all our little tendons and ligaments in place, so we're not just pulling them around our joints. So tendons and ligaments don't have the same recoil that our muscles do, so sometimes when you stretch them out, they don't come back. It's like an elastic band that you use on your hair. Slowly over time, it becomes less and less elasticy, and that's when our tendons and ligaments are more prone to tearing. So that is really what we don't want to happen. So for a long time I was like, I don't get why we always have to spread our toes. Oh, Ruby's barking. Roots! I don't get why we have to spread our toes or always flex our feet, and it's that. It keeps all of those little tendons and ligaments in place, so they're not pulling around the joints. Take about 3 or 4 more breaths. If you're on your back like me, you can stay here and take some movement in between sides, whatever feels good to you. If you're in regular pigeon, however you want to get there, downward facing dog. So you can go for 3-legged dog, then down dog. You can go for 3-legged tabletop. So any movement that calls to you. I'm going to release mine, take a little bit of movement on my back, and then meet you all in downward dog again. So move through vinyasa or don't. It's up to you. Big deep breaths. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, pigeon pose, left shin forward. So left knee towards the outer left edge of your mat. Pull your left hip way back, so like you're trying to stick your left butt cheek out. As you pull your left butt cheek back, your heart goes forward, hinge forward. Active through your toes. breathe as big as you can. Exhales a little bit longer than inhales. And soften with your exhales. Take about 3 or 4 more breaths. And I'm just going to ultimately leave it up to you. So when you feel pretty even on both sides, start to transition back to one last down dog, or if you're on your back, any movement that feels good, that calls to you. Eventually just walking it out in down dog. If you would like to move through one final vinyasa, please feel free. Okay, my friends, let's find our way onto our backs, everybody. So from your down dog, just nice and easy, mindfully come onto your back. I don't care which direction you face. All right, once you're on your back, drive your knees in for just a moment, and either a little rock or give yourself a big squeeze, so like a tiny little potato bug ball, but now you're lying down. Set your feet on the ground with your knees bent, and if you have a strap or something of the like at home and you want to use it, you're welcome to. I'll just use my hands, I won't use a strap, but strap is really intuitive, so feel free to use one if you have one. We're going to stretch our hamstrings. So feet on the ground with knees bent, and then just extend your right leg up. Strap would go around the sole of your foot. I will bring my hands to the back of my right thigh. Everybody press up through your heel, flex your toes back, and then try to create as much length as you can from your right shoulder down to your right hip. And then bend your knee as much as you need to so you can find a neutral spine. You're not rounding your back. And then imagine somebody came over to you and press down on the sole of your right foot. So really grounding your right femur bone into the hip socket. So feel that. Keep that. Keep your neutral spine. And if your right leg is straight, start to crawl your hands up the length of your right leg, drawing your right leg closer to your upper body. Neutral spine stays and your right femur bone stays plugged into your right hip socket. Press up through your heel. If you have a big bend in your right knee, that's perfectly fine. We're just finding our own edge. Pull in with your arms. Press up and away through your right leg. Take about 2 more breaths. Now, keep your right leg where it's at if you can, and just release your arms. Slowly keeping your right leg as straight as possible. So arms tee out. lower your right leg to the ground so it will be extending long when you get to the ground. Neutral spine as you lower. Good job. Once your right leg is on the ground, draw your left knee towards your left armpit, hands around the front of your left shin. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Good. Now release your left leg, full body stretch, arms long, legs long. Big, huge inhale. And exhale, arms by your sides, feet on the ground with your knees bent. Left leg to the sky this time. Strap over the sole of your foot or hands around the back of your thigh. Flex your toes, even your little baby pinky toe. Press up through your heel. Pull back towards your body, towards your upper body with your arms. So with your arms you're pulling in, with your left leg you're pressing up and away. Root your left femur into the socket so as if somebody's pressing down on your left foot, keeping it nice and rooted. If I were there right now with you, I'd do it for you. All right, if you can keep your neutral spine, you can keep the length in your left leg. Start to walk your hands up your left leg and draw your left leg closer towards your upper body so your left foot starts to reach back behind you. I don't have the flexibility, so I'm pretty much staying where I'm at. Keep your hips nice and square, femur bone rooted. Couple more rounds. Press up through your heel, flex your toes, neutral spine. This is such a difficult pose if you're doing it with awareness. It's easy to plop into without awareness, but with awareness, woo! All right, end of your exhale. Release your left leg, but keep it where it's at. Tee out your arms, and as slow as you can, lower your left leg down, keeping everything else exactly the same. Once your left leg is on the ground, it's extended forward. Draw your right knee towards your right armpit, hands around the front of your right shin. Squeeze, 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 in and up, in and up, in and up. And then release, full body stretch. Arms long, legs long, pull yourself apart, reach, 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 reach. Now, 10 breaths, you guys, to finish off your practice however you want. So maybe there's another twist you want to take. Maybe there's one last heart opener. We did a lot of back bending, heart opening, so you are warmed up. If you want to take a full back bend, go for it. So whatever your body needs to complete your practice for you, go there. All right, my friends, and as you eventually settle into your Shavasana, my reading for you today is by Gary John Bishop, and it's called Embracing the Uncertain. All of the successes, all of the experiences, all of the things you have always dreamed of are waiting for you in uncertainty. Once you accept this, it's not as scary as before. Sure, you might be nervous about what will happen, but you will also be hopeful and excited at the prospect of what may come. So, I feel like just all of us these days, with everything that's been happening just in our world and even individually, personally in our lives, we're all experiencing uncertain times just in different ways. And it's so easy to let that be a feeling of overwhelm and anxiety and worry and fear. Ultimately, just it's scary not knowing what's to come, not knowing how life will look tomorrow or a year from now or 5 years from now. Whatever we are going through, if we can just be with what is, step into whatever is to come, uncertain or not. It's always uncertain, really. We never know. And just look at it as possibility. Everything you've always dreamed of, that's where it lives, in uncertainty. Stepping into the unknown, letting go of comfort, attachments, and just allowing yourself to fully embrace what is here and what is to come without fear. And even if you are scared, you are worried, you do it anyway, you step in anyway. You just be with what is, you let it flow through you. So for these last few moments, since Travis isn't here, I'm going to let you guys drift off into your Shavasana. He likes me to close practice. He said he's going to call my yoga classes Blue Balls Yoga because I leave you in Shavasana. Rude, huh? All right, my friends. So this is where I'm going to leave you. I love you so much. Let yourself just be with what is right now in your space for as long as you have. So if you have 30 seconds to spend, if you have 10 minutes to spend, just let it flow through you. If you have music playing, wonderful. If there are sounds around you, observe them, let them come and go. And just allow yourself to, breath by breath, step into the unknown. Just go with the flow of life. Thank you for practicing with me, letting me guide you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.